All right, Shalom Akim. These are the brothers from GMS Miami. My name is Lawyer.
Shamar.
And first and foremost, we want to give all praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, double honors to the elder apostles of Great Millstone, and salutation to all the Akim out there doing the work in truth and sincerity. Today, me and the brother Shamar, we're going to go into a lesson concerning biblical archaeology. And the first artifact that we're going to go into is the Moabite stone, in a short series that the brother affectionately named GMS Time Capsule. And so basically, the reason why we're going into this lesson is because there's a biblical account that's recorded in the Book of Kings that is confirmed by the Moabite stone, the Mesha, Stele. I'm sure you know, you brothers that study archaeology or study history that lines up with the scriptures already know about this artifact. So we wanted to go into it just in case brothers didn't know, and Lord willing, through the Spirit and power of Yahweh Shemi Shai, this video is edifying.
Sure. This is 2 Kings 3:1. Now Jehoram, the son of Ahab, began to reign over Israel and Samaria the 18th year of Jehoshaphat, king of Judah, and reigned 12 years.
Okay, so 2 Kings 3:1. Basically, the chapter starts off introducing Jehoram, the son of Ahab, and he was basically the king over Israel and Samaria, because the kingdom was split at the time between Israel and Judah. Judah being the southern kingdom, Israel, the 10 tribes being the northern kingdom, and the capital was Samaria. Go ahead.
And he wrought evil in the sight of the Lord, but not like his father and like his mother. But he put away the image of Baal that his father had made. Nevertheless, he cleaved unto the sins of Jeroboam, the son of Nebat, which had made Israel to sin.
Okay, so you brothers already know the story of Jeroboam, how he basically betrayed Solomon. The Lord basically had that situation set up so the kingdom would be divided because Solomon sinned against the Lord. And now you fast forward into history, into the scriptures, you have Jehoram, the son of Ahab. He did evil in the sight of the Lord, and he was worshiping idols, but he didn't worship all, but he worshipped all the idols, and he did the sins that Jeroboam was doing. And basically the Lord did not like that shit, so the Lord is about to put judgment on him. Go ahead.
He departed not therefrom. Mesha, king of Moab, was a sheep master, and rendered unto the king of Israel 100,000 lambs and 100,000 rams with the wool.
Right, so you have this Mesha, king of Moab, being introduced, and basically the Mesha stone, or the Mesha Stele, or Moabite stone, that king is who the stone is named after, and he was basically paying tribute to the northern kingdom of Israel by paying tribute with 100,000 lambs and 100,000 rams with wool, and that was basically the tribute that he was paying to the northern kingdom kings of Israel, because Moab was under subjection to them. Go ahead.
But it came to pass when Ahab was dead, that the king of Moab rebelled against the king of Israel.
So that's the judgment that the Lord put on Jehoram after his father died. The king of Moab rebelled against the king of Israel, so basically he wasn't paying that tribute. He wasn't paying the lamb and the rams and the wool anymore to the king of Israel, man. So that was the Lord, basically taking control or authority away from Jehoram and from the northern kingdom of Israel by putting the spirit on Mesha, king of Moab, to rebel against him. And as we get into this lesson, we're gonna go into some an article, and we're gonna put a little clip that kind of goes into it. Go ahead.
And King Jehoram went out of Samaria at the same time, and numbered all Israel. And he went and sent to Jehoshaphat, the king of Judah, saying, the king of Moab has rebelled against me. Wilt thou go with me against Moab to battle? And he said, I will go up. I am as thou art, my people as thy people, and my horses as thy horses.
Right. So now you have King Jehoram, Samaria. He goes to Jehoshaphat, and now they're going to fight against the king of Moab because Moab rebelled against Israel. And we're going to stop right there in 2 Kings. You brothers can read the rest of the chapter. The article that we're about to go into is the New World Encyclopedia, Salakia, the New World Encyclopedia.org, going into the Mesha Stele, or the Moabite stone.
Mesha Stele. Mesha Stele, also known as the Moabite stone, is a black basalt monument bearing an inscription by the 9th century BCE Moabite king Mesha, discovered in 1868 at Dibon, Jordan. The inscription of 34 lines is the most intensive document ever recorded, referring
contemporaneously
to ancient Israel.
So now, basically, they discovered this stone. They discovered this stone dating back all the way to the 9th century BCE. That deals with Mesha, king of Moab, and the inscriptions that confirm the scriptures. So even all the way back then, you had kings and writings and things of that nature, documentation referring to Israel, referring to the kingdom of Israel, referring to the various characters or people mentioned in the scriptures. And what's interesting is that it says right here, biblical Dibon, capital of Moab. And when you read the scriptures, Dibon is the capital of Moab, and that's where the kings of Moab would reign from. They would reign from that capital. Yeah, keep reading.
The stele was erected by Mesha circa 850 BCE as a memorial of his victories, especially his revolt against the king of Israel, apparently undertaken after the death of Israel's king Ahab. Currently displayed at the Louvre Museum in Paris. It is 124 centimeters high, 71 centimeters wide, and deep, and rounded at the top. The monument was discovered in August 1868 by Reverend F.A. Kalim, a German missionary to Jerusalem. The inscription is remarkable not only for its confirmation of several biblical events and personalities, but also in that it provides important insights into the religion of Israel's neighbors Moab and the existence of a previously unknown Israelite shrine in Moabite territory. It also contains the earliest known reference to the Hebrew god Yahuwah, which is Yahweh, as the national power of Israel.
Right. So on the Moabite stone, you have inscripted on the Moabite stone the name of the Most High, the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, Yahweh. Okay, Yahweh in the Hebrew. Okay, in the Moabite Hebrew. Okay, not Ahia, not Jehovah, not Jesus, not Yeshua, but Yahweh, right in your face. Okay. So that right there is already a cut to scoffers that say that the name of the Most High is not Yahweh. That right there is a cut, man.
Really? Real. Alright, want to keep reading?
Yeah.
The Mesha Stele was shattered by members of the local populate populace who objected to its removal, but was later reconstructed. In addition, a squeeze had been taken of the monument before it was removed. Both the squeeze and the reassembled stele are now in the Louvre Museum.
Right. So basically, what a squeeze is they take a paper mache and they plaster it on over a stone or a wall that has inscriptions on it, or anything that has inscriptions on it, and it basically makes an impression on the paper mache. It makes an impression on it, and basically from there you have a perfect copy. Keep reading.
The stele describes three basic events. One, Moab's subjection to King Ora of Israel as the result of the anger of the god Chumash, and Mesha's later victories over Omari's descendants, and over the Israelite tribe of Gad at Ashtaroth, Nebo, and Jahaz.
Right. So right there you have Omri mentioned on the Moabite stone, and Omri was a king of Israel. You have the god of Moab, Kamash, which is also mentioned in the scriptures as being a god of Moab, and various other events that took place during that time. Go ahead.
Mesha's public buildings and his dedications to Chumash, the slaughter of foreign inhabitants of the city which he captured, the restoration of fortifications, and the construction of a palace, and reservoirs of water.
Right. So the Mesha Stele goes into a deeper or more in detail account from the perspective of Mesha, the king of Moab, of what was going on. The scriptures record that he rebelled, and that you had Jehoram going to Jehoshaphat, and Israel and Judah and Edom teaming up against Moab. But what the Moabite stone does is it fills in the gaps of what's not written in scriptures, or it basically gives you another perspective of what happened in that time period. So from the perspective of Mesha, king of Moab, he talks about the dedication and refortifying his cities that were captured or that were destroyed by Israel, etc., etc.
3. Mesha's war against the Horonium with very few variations. The Moabite language of the inscription shares much in common with an early form of Hebrew known as Biblical Hebrew.
Right. So the Moabite language and the Hebrew language of the Bible, it lines up perfectly. So that's how they know that the characters or the personalities mentioned in the Moabite stone relate to the scriptures, because the languages are almost identical. The writing system is almost identical. Go ahead.
It is apparently an offshoot of the Canaanite language commonly in use between the 14th to 8th century BCE in Syria and Palestine. The form of the letters supplies important information regarding the history of the formation of the alphabet, as well as incidentally the arts of civilized life of those times in the land of Moab.
Right. So basically, the Moabite language and the Hebrew language are similar, and the reason why that is because the Moabites and the Hebrew Israelites descend from a common ancestor, going back to Terah and Shem, etc., etc. So the last thing we want to get is the scripture in Revelations chapter 12, talking about how the earth helped the woman, just to top it off.
This is Revelations 12 and 15. And the serpent cast out cast out of his mouth water as a flood
Mm-hmm.
after the woman.
Right, and that serpent is the so-called white man, Esau. Okay, he's the devil. That's why he's being described as a serpent. And the waters that he cast out of his mouth are these lies and these deceits and these vain philosophies out towards the woman. And that woman is the nation of Israel, so that the woman could be carried away of the flood, so that our people could be lost in the sauce, not knowing the truth. They could be carried about by every wind of doctrine, and not believe in the scriptures and believe in Kemet and all these other philosophies. That's not convenient and that's not edifying.
That he might cause her to be carried away of the flood.
Mm-hmm.
And the earth helped the woman, and the earth opened her mouth and swallowed up the flood which the dragon cast out of his mouth.
Right, and that's going into all the archaeology being dug up from the earth. That's helping brothers get edified, and that's helping build the faith of that woman, build the faith of Israel, And basically, that's the last scripture we wanted to get in Revelations 12 and 15 through 16. And in the post production, we're gonna add a video clip that goes into the Moabite stone, and goes a little bit details, and basically gives you a visual of what we're talking about. So with that, we want to give all praises to Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, double honors to the elders, apostles of Great Millstone, and salutations to all the Akim out there doing the work in truth and sincerity. Lord willing, through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, this video was edifying. Shalom.
Shalom.
In 1868, a tribe of Bedouins inhabiting Dibon, near the ruins of ancient Moab, discovered a slab of stone with an unusual Semitic inscription. The translation of this inscription would change forever the way in which we perceive the ancient Book of Kings. In order to better understand the significance of this find, we must travel over 2,800 years into the past, to a time when Jehoram, the son of Ahab and grandson of Omri, was the king of Israel. The language of Moab is quite similar to Hebrew, in that it is read from right to left and consists not of words as we know them, but of abbreviations, often using 3 or 4 letters, from which we can derive words and names which are also common to the Bible. So it is that we find the name Omri, the king of Israel who originally subjected Moab. We also see his title, Melech Israel, King of Israel, which proves the existence of a state of Israel well over 840 years before Christ. But even more interesting, we find the 4 letters that indicate the name of the God of Israel, a name which means simply, I am.